Hey, everybody, welcome back. And the question is, okay, if we've had the highest sales this year, which it's only March, or at least in a year, does that really mean anything? Well, we're going to get into that. Hang on a second. All right, so here's the thing. Our sales have actually, well, they've gone up, and it's kind of seasonally normal because, well, it's the spring season, and this is the time when a lot of inventory comes on market. We have a lot of buyers coming out. We have interest rates that are coming down, and it is having the exact effect as predicted and seasonally normal. So it's not a big deal. In fact, unfortunately, well, the market's kind of flat. It's going more sideways. I wouldn't say flat, but it's definitely sideways. We're going to see a little bit of an increase. There was an article that was put out by Zillow, and they originally started off, hey, we're going to see 4%, then it's 2.5%. Now they're saying it's going to be 0.4 in our area. So they really downgraded to just barely basically a 0.5% of home value increase year over year. Now, I'm not sure I 100% agree with that because we're already up about 1.2% year to date when we take a look at single family only. Now, we're not including manufactured homes. We don't include condos, albeit condos right now are absolutely killing it in our market because of affordability and with rates coming down. And we've been seeing a pretty significant drawdown on condos. That's a different market altogether. So when we take a look at single family only, we're actually doing really well. In fact, our numbers, well, they're doing really well. Now, that doesn't mean that when the feds come out and meet in probably June, is it going to be June? I believe it's June because they meet every 6 weeks, that are they going to adjust rates? Now, they didn't do it last week, which was the best because that way rates can have continued to head in a downward trend. In fact, some of the news reporting that we're seeing is just that very thing. But down the road, if the feds raise rate in June or possibly even not raise rate, but lower the Fed rate, and as you know, as the feds lowered their rate, mortgage rates went up. Now, if we can not have the mortgage rates go back up and we continue this downward trend because we're at about 6.5%, 6.6, we've been bobbling around there, which is situation normal. Yeah, we could see the lower sixes, maybe into the high fives just briefly, and I do mean brief. However, there are some incentives out there and some metrics that are indicating that we could really go either way. And as I tell people all the time, everybody's guessing. And our guess is still that we're going to see a better and greater appreciation. Based on today's metrics, we should see between 6 and 8% appreciation in most areas. That is our area. Now, granted, the Zillow was talking about national, and even though they came into their chart of focusing down, I think that they're a little low on their speculation. However, we will know because each week we're going to go through the metrics and we will adjust our recommendations, even though, I would say 99% of the time we're accurate. Not 99, but at least 98. Okay, 95. Let's go with 95. I'm pretty accurate, all things considered. Go back and watch all of our earlier videos. You might be surprised. All right, with that, let's talk a little bit about existing home sales, a little bit higher in a year. As you can see the chart there, that's a national level, and you can see naturally 2020 and 2022. Those were our crazy off-market years, unlike 2008, 2009, which was the exact opposite of this. Now, when we take a look at that, we talk about home sales. Certainly aren't feeling a free fall in the bigger picture, but they generally still are looking a little sideways. And of course, naturally, all of the realtors, people are in the industry that are in the trenches, are basically saying, hey, listen, we've had an increase in activity or inventory, not crazy amounts, but we've had some good increase in inventory, which also has affected activity. But that is what has also given us that that little upheaval of activity as far as pended sales, as you guys are going to see in the metrics. Now, one of the other things that people talk about are, hey, is now a good time? Last week, one of the biggest questions that we're asked, in fact, the whole reason we did last week's videos, because we had received that question probably 30, 40 times, easy. And so we wanted to answer the questions. And for the current market right now, technically the 1st of March, until about mid-May, are your opportune times to sell, not list, sell. You should be on market. If you price yourself correctly, you will be off market in 7 to 10 days, which gives you the most amount of money in your pocket. I can go all those metrics later. However, that's what we look at. So when we pop in and we take a look at best times, March through May, and then of course after the July 4th weekend, if you're not ready for that right now. So when we take a look at some of our headlines, look at that, highest existing home sales in a year. Bottom left, the refi demand remains elevated, but off recent highs. Well, that's not surprising, because a lot of folks are actually starting to hold off in the anticipation that rates will continue in a downward trend. Bottom right, mortgage rates very close to multi-month lows. Upper right, you can see where we're red, not green, because we went up ever so slightly, 0.001. That was just a tiny, tiny little increase, which allowed mortgage rates to go up just fractionally. Now, not uncommon. We'll see those probably come back down next week. Par pricing in a lot of areas is about 6.5, 6.6. Make sure if you're looking at buying a home, hey, listen, watch the video, 5 questions to ask when getting quoted mortgage rates. Watch it 3 or 4 times. Look, there's no marketing in it. There's no nothing. We walk you through exactly what you need to look at and what things you need to put in a column line item. In the comments below, there's a link for you to take a look at calendars, or calendars, calculators side by side to evaluate different mortgages. Okay. There's no login. There's no nothing. It's there. It's free for you. Use it. It's a free tool. Use it to help you understand. There's even a refinance tool that will help you with that. Again, there's no login. There's no marketing. It's free. Just take a look at it. Hopefully it'll help you guys out, which is the goal, right? Okay, so as we roll forward, let's take a little bit of a rate look here. So we got Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. Right now, it shows that we are actually down year over year, 0.2. Funny enough, rates are a little bit higher than they were last week by 0.02. And the super cool part about that is that, again, we're seeing a modest amount of activity. Rates have been pretty stable. They've been heading in a downward trend. The fact that the Feds did not lower rate, the fact that some of the numbers that came in last week actually helped keep mortgage rates on a lower level. Because remember, they're publicly traded. That Feds have nothing to do with long-term rates. All right, moving on. So if we pop over to our next slide and we talk a little bit about, hey, what is our market trending? So, we've been seeing a slight increase in market times. We've also seen a little bit of aggressive activity as far as pricing. When we take a look at our running 7-day average, let's blow that chart up. Look at this. So last Friday, yesterday, we had a massive amount of homes that came on market. How do I know we had a massive amount? Because I received in the morning, when I start my day at about 5 o'clock, I get a, hey, here are some homes that you may want to send to your client on special searches that we've set up. And I looked at it and there were 92. And I just started laughing. I thought, what? How is that possible? So I started going through them, and we filter out, hey, that's a good home. That's not, this is, that's not, that is, that's not. And we help to only send our clients exactly what they're looking for. What's funny is how many, and that is very consistent with this chart here, when you can see that our running 7-day average, we had 1,041 homes that came on market this last Friday. However, 1,058 went pended. So we just saw a shade of more homes go pended, 17, than what we saw, as far as what came on market. What's super funny about that is that everybody must watch my video saying, hey, you need to go on market. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Anyway, but it is seasonally normal, and we will see those numbers trail just like that. In the last couple of years, there's only been 2 or 3 times where the number of homes that came on market exceeded the number of homes that went pended. And we'll see what happens between now and the middle of May. And if you have questions, definitely drop them down below. We answer back. Oh, shockingly enough, I know a lot of people just email me or text me and give me, hey, and we'll respond back. Normally within about 30 minutes, except for on Sundays. So anyway, if you have questions, definitely put them down below because other people are interested also. All right, moving on. Okay, so remember, because there's no advertising, and if you want super accurate information, make sure you jump in. Let's talk a little bit about the metrics. So our metrics, all things considered, look at this. So we're looking at the average list price and the average sold price. And if I blow that up one more time, we can see right here that our year to date, even though the average list price year to date is down about 1.2%, it's $7,000 higher than what it was last week. And in fact, sales prices are up 3.9% year to date. And in fact, $8,000 higher than what it was last week. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's home just went up $8,000. That just means for the average for sale price and the average sold price, we monitor those each and every week. We give you guys, hey, what is trending? And what's funny is you'll see those numbers, dive down as interest rates come up, and then you see those numbers go up as interest rates come down. And they're absolutely inverse of each other. And depending on what rates do, which is absolutely one of the biggest influencers of what the market does. As we got down and are getting down at 6.6, 6.5, when we start getting below 6.5 into the 6.4, 6.25, that pent up demand that is out there, and I guarantee you it is out there. We're still seeing multiple offers right now. We're seeing some crazy escalations in some areas that I just don't get. But hey, that's not my problem. That is theirs. Overbuying sometimes is not a great idea, but hey, there's a greater desire for gain when there's a sense of loss. All right, let's get back to this. So when we take a look at the same month, year over year, month of March, we can see that, again, our average list price is $7,000 higher this week, albeit 1.2% less than it was last year at this time. 4.4% increase in price as far as a sold price. And again, $15,000 higher than what it was last week. And that's super important because, again, we're starting to see that trend as we start seeing rates come down, more inventory coming on, more buyers have more opportunities, they're jumping out. New construction, albeit, again, although super flat, still doing our improvement, which is super important. So if we jump back in, let's take a look at the actual numbers here. So we have new on market year over year. That's on the right-hand side. Actually, let me blow this up for you. We have new on market is up 11.1%. And then, of course, I circled down below year to date, actual pended is up 8.5%. And we are seeing, again, as we see more homes coming on market, we're also seeing the pendants, match that very thing. In fact, solds are actually up 3.5%, roughly about 400 homes, 300 homes-ish. And so that's just, again, showing just a very positive trend. Now, what's super interesting, when we take a look at the month to date, that's the lower chart. New on market for this month of March to date, month over month, year over year, up 7.3%. But look at the pended. The pended, when we're seeing rates just a tad bit lower, 22.7. That is a massive jump, all things considered, and more so than what it was last year. And that's why we're kind of pulling this out to say, hey, listen, Zillow said, hey, we're going to see a really good seasonal increase for spring, and they think that it's going to kind of peter out and die down. Well, it almost always does between the end of May until July 4th, because you got Labor Day weekend, and you got kids getting out of school, you have people going on vacation. Their mind is elsewhere. That is so seasonally normal, it's crazy. In fact, we call it the real estate ghost town, because it absolutely falls off and then picks up again right after the July 4th weekend. So it's not uncommon, and we will continue to update you, but situation normal. In fact, nothing crazy here, except for the fact that we've had almost a 0.25% increase in pended sales. That's 800 homes, versus a couple hundred homes coming on market. So that's a pretty significant jump, right? I think so. So again, when we take a look at actual inventory, you can see this is a 10-year run. And yes, I've had this up a couple of times over the weeks here to let people know, hey, listen, our inventory is still low. Okay, sure. 2020 through the first part of 2022, our inventory dropped down because, well, people just weren't putting the homes on the market. We were drawing down massive amounts of inventory. And we are still about, I'd say, 5,000 homes short. But that doesn't mean that we have massively low inventory. In fact, I think we are very balanced as far as homes coming on and homes going off. They're very consistent. We're not seeing those numbers go super crazy down. Now, will we, and historically, should we see our inventory as we get towards, the middle of summer to come up into the 13,000? Yeah, absolutely we will, and we should. And in fact, funny enough, the middle of summer where we normally peak out, we should be seeing anywhere between 16 and 22,000 homes on market. And we haven't seen that in a while. I don't see that. So being a 2.5 month of home inventory, in other words, if I have a bucket and all the agents put their listings in the bucket and I put a lid on it, we should have 2.5 months of inventory, I think, in today's market for a balanced market. Used to be 4 to 6 months. If we had 4 months of inventory right now, our pricing, I think, would be coming down. I'm not sure that pent-up buyer demand out there is significant enough to overcome that amount of homes. That means we would be at our 16,000, and we just haven't seen that in a while, and I think this is really our new norm. We'll keep you posted. All right, so as we roll on, let's take a little bit of a look at new construction. Again, new construction is doing quite well. Each week, they are making ground back. Now, granted, when it came to January, February for new construction, oh man, it was abysmal. But they've been making some really gaining ground back again. They're getting some really good headway. And as we can see here, our actual sold prices for the month over month is up $14,000 from last week, is up 2.4% year over year. And then, or for the same month. And then year to date, even though we're up 5.7%, the average sale at this point last year was down $3,000 from last week to this week. But yet we're up, $4,000 as far as average sales price. And that's super important to understand, because as you guys are taking a look at what's going on, what are the incentives, what are builders doing to attract all this activity? Well, simple enough. Like this, you got a 2-1 buy down. Look, that's basically 4% for your first year, and then it goes to 5%. And of course, the APR, which is the actual cost, is higher because the builder's paying a bunch of money down. This is on select homes. If you're interested in those, just let us know. We'll go ahead and send those off to you. Now, when we take a look at actual volumes, right? Hey, situation normal. There is nothing exciting going on here. Everything pretty much is the same as last week, except for we've seen just incremental improvements, and that's it. Nothing that is super crazy. Everybody's just kind of doing a very flat line. Slight upward flat line. How's that? Anyway, so new construction slowly but surely is making ground back, which is good. Then we get into what we call the bank-owned homes. All right. So a number of the credit unions that we work with, along with some of the other banks out there, they are quite happy. Many of them have very good smiles on their face. We have equity in homes. We've got a lot of things that are very positive, and including, as you can see here, very few homes. I mean, very few. This is going from Granite Falls, Marysville, and Snohomish all the way down to Tumwater. And you can see there's just a smattering of homes. I didn't include the other side. It makes the map too small, but that's a focus area that we look at. And it's like, look, there's hardly anything out there, right? And in fact, when we take a look at our numbers, when we take a look at the actual current, right, numbers of when we take a look at where we were at last year, where we were at last month, year over year, where are we at just year to date on sales and market time? Look, man, it's all these numbers are super small, and a super small number can look like a big, massive number, and it's not. When we take a look at just the month of February, it says, oh, look, we have Pended are up 80%. Well, it's 12 homes. It's not a big deal. But when you look onto the right on the chart, the chart on the right, I should say, look, year to date, all of our numbers up. Inventory as far as new homes coming on market are down. When we take a look at market times, that's probably the toughest nut right there. Look, banks being on market this long, look, I get it that they need to make sure that they prove to the investor they did not underprice the property. But now it's officially costing them dollars. You can see that ratio of selling is at like 94%, 93%, 92%. It needs to be in the 98 percentile. And the reason is that the more time you're on market, the less dollars you're actually going to receive. And I know they're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. I get that. We deal with it all the time. And the key is, if they're able to come in at a slightly better price, they're going to get more dollars in their pocket. But that's not always how that plays out. The benefit of dealing with a traditional seller versus an institutional lender. Anyway, if you have any questions, hey, put them down below. Smash that subscribe button. Let us know that you're liking it. We get a gaggle of people looking at our videos each week. Funny enough, only about 25% are actually subscribers, and the rest are all coming in and watching it. But yeah, come back and watch it again, which is awesome. But let us know that you like it, and it helps other people get the information. In the meantime, it's a mixed bag of weather out there. Have an absolutely beautiful Saturday, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.